Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Born Unbreakable podcast. I wore a medium shirt, which I'm not medium anymore. I'm large, and now I feel like a chunkster.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my gosh, man. Because I've been editing these videos. I'm like, man, I'm getting chunky as charged.
Oh my gosh, you are hilarious.
So I wanted to wear black and red. Let me flip this. So I'm sure See, we don't have a big budget yet, so we don't have a wardrobe crew, so sometimes this is the reason why. So this is the evidence that we don't have a wardrobe crew yet. I'm just a mess. If we had a wardrobe crew, they would have been like, yeah, you need a large, you know?
It looks good. I like it.
What to suck it in. But anywho, we are here to talk about the tangible Born Unbreakable book. It has come alive. It's here. It's physically here. Let's kind of give everybody a little drum roll. Oh, nice. So this is what you guys get if you guys are a VIP.
Yeah.
I am a VIP.
As a producer of the show.
As an author, do you have to buy your own books?
They give you copies, and then you can also order as many as you want.
That's good. It's good. So
at a special rate.
So they've given you this, obviously, in the beginning, I mean, ahead of time.
Yes.
To make sure you like it. You know,
like, I mean? Send it back. You know, no, I'm kidding.
Make sure it smells right. You know, make sure
there's actually words in the pages.
Make sure it's on recycled paper. And but no, this is here.
It's here.
How did you feel when you opened up the box?
Oh my gosh.
You saw the books.
I was so overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. I have to tell you, I was like, the box, like, wait, what is this? I open it and I see my books in there, and I'm just like, this wave comes over me.
Did you cry?
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't like ugly crying, so you know. Yeah, right. But it's like this surreal moment that something that was a dream actually came into reality, and you're touching it. It's a physical entity, object that you can,
you know, Beyonce hair flowing.
Got the Beyonce hair going on and everything.
So who chose this picture?
I chose the photo. Yeah, yeah, I did.
This is a good photo.
I think
I remember when I saw this photo when we were looking at your website and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is an album cover.
Yeah,
so now
funny.
It's on a book.
Somebody, when I first started using that photo, somebody had asked me if it was an album, because on the podcast, before we changed it to you and I's, name, it was this photo.
Yeah.
So this was the start of Born Unbreakable, and I wanted to stay authentic to the brand, and that's why I wanted to use this photo, because this is how Born Unbreakable all started.
Born Unbreakable, and you guys will notice on the book, the BU is in black. Why BU?
Because my message to people is to be unapologetically you. So the message is built into the title.
A little Da Vinci Code stuff going
on. Oh, yeah.
It's like subliminal messaging in the title.
So this is a really cool thing. When I was in the writing program, I wrote a letter to myself on November 1st, 2022. And on the envelope, it said, open when published. And technically I was published, but I didn't want to open it until I physically had it. There's something different about that feeling. And so I rip it open and I unfold it. It's just like on a notebook paper. And I read it to myself, and I was so glad that I wrote that note to myself, because I don't think you appreciate the process until you can celebrate the work that you've actually done.
You know, I kind of want to, because you have your book and we're talking about you writing a letter to yourself. You went on a journey. It's start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people nowadays want instant gratification. Whatever they're doing, singing, want to be a movie star, want to be a podcaster, you want to be an author, you want to have a certain career, you want to be a YouTuber, anything that you want to be, it seems like a lot of people want that and they'll start it, but it's like either they get impatient or they don't follow through, you know? And for you, it was a 2-year journey, about a 1 year.
Yeah,
Because if you wrote that note in November 20th,
yeah, it was
like a year and a half.
I wrote, yeah, it was about 18 months ago.
Which is pretty fast, because a lot of people, when they read a book, I mean, when they write a book, it's kind of a long time, you know, depending on if it's somebody of a ghostwriter or somebody. A lot of these people that come out with the books, whether you're a politician or somebody famous, they're not sitting there.
The reason it goes faster is actually because
somebody just asking you questions. Yeah. But for you wrote this whole thing. It wasn't ghostwritten. I mean, and seeing how, I mean, when you started this, did you know you were going to finish? Was there any kind of doubt? Was there any kind of like, oh, am I going to do this? Can I do this? Is this, why am I writing a book? Am I full of myself? Am I being too narcissistic?
You know, the most interesting process about writing a book on self-limiting beliefs, and I know we've done an episode that people, hopefully you can go back and listen to it, where we actually say, well, what's a self-limiting belief? Is that I had to test my own theory on myself because this was something that I went through, that cycle of having self-doubt in the beginning of this journey. And you do question, and you go through this whole mindset process of, am I worthy of this? Like, am I capable of being an author? Because then you think of all these amazing authors and you're like, can I even do this? So,
and you were in this writing program with other people.
Yeah.
So you got to hear other people's stories?
Oh, we got to hear each other's stories. There were a lot of tears. There were a lot of fears.
So hold on. So here's what now, and for those, I hope this is good for you, for those of you who want to be an author or even anything else. When you did this intensive and you went into this program, there are other people.
Yeah.
So that could be intimidating because, you know, you have a story, you have an idea, and you have to kind of go say it with other people there. I mean, that can be kind of scary. Like, oh, is my
It's
story
like being
suck?
Emotionally naked.
Was it like that? But was it like that when people were sharing it? Were there people going like, oh man, my story, like, like, it's kind of stupid.
I think it's, you know, I think you go through both sides. On the one hand, you hear someone else's story and what it is that they want to bring into the world. And you're like, oh my gosh, they're a genius. They're brilliant. Oh, and then you do this like kind of, am I good enough? Because look at how they're just so amazing. And am I even that? But then there's the other part of you that's inspired because you're like, oh my gosh, like, we can do this. Like, there's something about the power of community that makes it have a support.
But do you think everybody should, like, if they're wanting to do something, is it good to do an intensive with other people that are kind of achieving the same goal? So that should that be something that everybody should do, or is that based on your personality? Like, are there some people that will kind of go, man, I need more of a one-on-one and not be in a group setting? Yeah. I'm going to be like, oh, that person's...
Yes. There's some people that choose a one-on-one. They don't want that process. I think for me, I thrive in those processes because I like the power of story and hearing from other people. And that's not just related to this. I think that in my life, that's related to many topics. I know there's probably other things that we'll talk about here today, but community, I think, is, I mean, think about like the gym, you know, people go in and see other people.
Is there a pressure of trying to get something completed, but then you feel like you're missing something? Is that kind of come into, is that a risk if you're doing it intensive, like trying to do this program?
Oh,
or maybe, you know, some people, maybe, obviously a lot of people have jobs and have other stuff. They have families, kids, whatever. Yeah. Maybe taking this and going like, oh my God, when am I going to find the time? But then if you have deadlines, do you feel like you're just kind of crunching it in and not, do you think the quality is being lost?
No, I don't think the quality is being lost. I think what happens is, you know, it's like the Tony Robbins statement, right? Like, focus goes where energy flows. You're holding yourself accountable to a commitment that you made to yourself. I think when you're under the pressure of timelines and, you know, in a program like this, you eliminate the excuses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, being in the DJ world and the media world, I know for me when I'm editing videos, it's better just to just push through. Making music too. If I feel like I have an idea, I'll sit there all night and I got to finish it.
Yeah.
Once I stop,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, that track's never going to get done.
Yeah.
So I understand that whole trying to just go ahead and put it all together, focus on it, have that deadline,
Yeah.
But
and you do, there's moments where like maybe I had writer's block because I really wanted to get a point across, and I'm like, oh, am I saying this the right way? Could I convey this differently? But then you start writing something and something comes to you later of like, you know what? I need to add that this is important. Let me make a note of that. And so it becomes this creative energy. And mind you, with me, I also had an editor. And so we would meet and we actually would talk about the pieces of what I was working on. Like she would read, and I mean, that's the other thing is like someone's
good because somebody can
looking at it,
see your work and kind of
and critique
where's
it.
It's going, or
Yep.
And that's I'm pretty sure that was the benefits of having a writing coach.
Yeah, I had a writing coach, an editor.
I like on the back it just right away you see in bold letters like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not capable.
Like, can you relate to that?
That's eye catching. Now, it's cool too because the program that you did, you use their publisher, right?
So you actually, if anybody knows the process of like, let's say applying to anything, a program, a college, and you're waiting for like that letter, acceptance letter or denial letter of like, did I get in? Mm-hmm. Writing a book and pitching to a publisher is like that. Mm-hmm. You have to essentially make a pitch of like, hey, here's why you should want me as an author.
And they helped you kind of design the cover and tell you what to put,
yeah. Once
they know what's going to sell, like how,
Once if you get any offers and you select a publisher, which Post Hill Press published my book. It's the same publisher as Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. So really awesome. I was honored. Yes, they go through that creative process with you of like the cover and feedback and back
your
and
mom
forth.
lives with you?
Yeah.
Oh, you live with your mom?
Oh man, yeah, no. My mom moved in with me years back.
And so. Yes, you retired your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's really funny when I go over there.
Yeah.
She's still. It does kind of have that. Wait, you're living with your mom.
Because she could. Yeah, she does the mom role from like, are you hungry all the time?
And which if you're, every culture has that. You go to every culture, it's like, oh, mom's gonna. Mom knows.
It's super sweet.
You want that mom's care.
There's nothing like a mom's love, for sure.
As long as you can.
Oh, yeah.
And now, how does she react?
Oh, my gosh.
When she saw this?
Yeah, this was a really special time for my mom and I. I was not expecting this. I didn't think you were going to ask me about this. We were sitting at the dinner table. And I forgot to tell her that my book came in. And I was like, oh, Mom, I wanted to show you something. So I go to the box, my special box of author's books, and I grab a copy and I go, look. And she's like, and it was just like the look on her face of like, you did it, like it's here. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was the first time I had a moment where I talked about being proud of myself, because I'm super hard on myself. I'm my worst enemy. I feel like I'm not good enough. And she had this conversation with me of like, you may not think it, and I may not have been the person that made you feel this way, but I am so proud of you, And so then I decided to like open it up and read her the acknowledgement, the dedication in front of the book, the acknowledgement, the foreword that was written by my mentor, April Garcia. And I think it became real.
Obviously, you put your mom in acknowledgement, right?
Oh, it was, my family's always first.
And
my family's always first, so.
To my family. Darlene.
Yeah.
Right there, first one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the rest because you guys got to order this book. And there's some good acknowledgements in there. And that's interesting because I know you and I hang out a lot. We work together. We do a lot of stuff. And there have been some times where, it's you know, and me having daughters, I see this, and I have sisters. The mother-daughter relationship is very unique. It's you know, you guys will understand each other, but you guys will fight real hard. It seems like mothers, probably all mothers. I don't think it matters with guys or girls, but there are some mothers that just they don't see boundaries. Like you know what I mean? And it's all out of love.
Oh yeah,
it's all just I care for you. You know what I mean? And I know you work really hard. You know, you have a career. You do projects. You dedicate your time. You volunteer. You do all this stuff. Your mom sees you going in and out of the house.
Yeah.
And I know she's kind of asked you, like, you know, or told you, like, slow down, or why are you doing so much?
She asked me,
like, you know, why do you have to do all this stuff?
I think that's why she's constantly being a mom, like, wants to cook, asks me if I sleep. Are you sleeping? You could rest today. Like, she's always, you know, doing that because she sees me like,
No, I mean, of course in this book you talk about your story. And she's seen everything in this book, you know, as a mom. Yeah. She may have a different perspective, you know, but she's seen your divorces. She's seen when she was there when you lost your dad, all this stuff. So she has this whole protective, you know. She does. She's super protective. You.
My sister and my mom.
Yeah. And so when she sees you kind of working hard and you know, your schedule's full, it's like, well, take a breather, relax, you know. But showing her this book, I think kind of is a good way to be like, this is why, you know? And I'm pretty sure that even as a daughter, I mean, you know, a parent can be taught sometimes, you know, when and you're not necessarily trying to prove your mom wrong, but you were trying to show, well, this is why. Yeah. You're able to show proof of this is why I do it. This is why. And I think a lot of times it's kind of the other way around. Like, I know for me, you know, our dad worked a lot, you know. Obviously, we spent more time with my mom, you know, because my dad worked a lot. But then when you get older, you go, this is why, you know. Yeah, and I think in this, you know, situation, it's good to kind of give your mom and be like, this is why you never see me. And now you have a book, you can look at me and sleep with it. Yeah, and she was like, I can't wait, because in her mind, even though I had the books like that I have that I can, you know, give to people, she's like, I'm waiting for mine. Like, I ordered it. I have to wait for mine to come in the mail. And does this make you, like, you know, does this put you over, like, over your sister as far as accomplishments? I mean, because sibling, man. I mean, you gotta be like. I mean, now, if you ever argue with your sister, you can be like, "Well, I wrote a book, you know, I'm immortalized." You know, man, my sister is my idol. Like, so. Now, does she know that you have these already? My sister? Yeah. Did you? Because now you guys FaceTime a lot, right? Yeah, I didn't. You know, I didn't have a moment where I FaceTimed with her. I think. Are you gonna wait till you see her in person, or? I mean, she saw. I shared a little bit on social media. I obviously write about my sister in here. She's another one, man. She has been a rock for sure. Like, she's been amazing to support me. She's definitely proud of you. And oh gosh, she's so proud. She's so proud. Yeah, I think she's a person, like many people that are close to me, of like the enjoy life. Like, it's okay to pause, because I have a hard time doing that. We're going to Europe for her birthday, and I'm still like having anxiety over, like, she's like, you don't need to bring your laptop, and I'm like, and your nieces now. Now, did you put their names in the book? I did. Oh yeah, the nieces are in here. If you look at the dedication, it actually starts with them in the very front of the book. Well, they're actually number 4 and 5. That's in the acknowledgments. But if you look at the very beginning, when I say the book is dedicated to. Oh yes, and that's good too, because as it's good to have an aunt that has a book, you know, because then you can be like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me. It's in black and white, right? You know, don't do what I did. You know, exactly. No, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's here. Again, you guys, this is not the first book you're gonna write. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff, and we talk about this all the time. There's, you know, you have been with one company, you know, your whole career. After you got out of college, you've been with one company. you've been loyal to that company, but in that company, you've touched a lot of people,
Yeah.
and even everything that you've gone through in life, you're always coaching, you're always learning, you're always helping your friends, your family, people in different situations. So obviously there's a lot, there's a lot more that you have to give, and writing more books. But it does help now, and we talk about this all the time. It seems like once you have a book, now people take you more seriously,
It's
because I think it is
interesting,
kind of that, you went through the process of putting something down, because even people that are, you're like, that person has a book. Like, a lot of people can write a book, and a lot of people do ghostwrite, but even if people go through the ghostwriting, sitting down and telling their story, and then they come out with a book, even if they're like the weirdest, most unaccomplished person, people are still looking at them like, oh wow, like you're somebody.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as like, even if you were like an artist or a musician, it's like, man, once you have a CD or an album, it's like, oh man, you
Right.
are an artist,
Right.
But now, what's the is this something for a specific niche of people, or who is this target audience for this book?
I mean, the target audience is anybody who hasn't believed in themselves. So
Which
I know
is pretty big.
Yeah. So I do think that, it's broad. I mean, I think that.
Now, is it because you run into this all the time in your personal life and with friends, family?
I don't think there's a day that I
professional?
don't run into this. Yeah.
Okay,
Both personally.
So this is something that's
personally and professionally. The funny thing is that the most accomplished people, which I've met, in a firm like mine, you're talking about A-type personalities, driven, will never stop until they get more, And then, of course, I talk about people I've interviewed. So this isn't just my story. Of course, the basis of it is my story. But there are other people's stories who have gone through different things than I have and come out on the other side. And so... And, they've done amazing things, but at a point in time, they lost everything. They were at the bottom emotionally and didn't feel like they saw the light of day. And I think it's funny, I was having a conversation the other day with this couple, and they were talking, we had this discussion about how I said that people relate to pain and suffering more than they relate to success. And
well, it's kind of like the whole thing with, there are feel-good stories, triumphant stories, inspirational stories, but for some reason people like the chaos and drama.
Yeah.
We're just kind of talking about that with the WNBA right now.
It's
like you have, the Las Vegas Aces, they won 2 championships, great team, great organization, it's from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But this whole Caitlin Clark drama is just, and it's a lot of people are arguing it's doing good for the NBA and WNBA and it's bringing eyeballs, and you want drama. We live in a time now where people love, that reality show drama, and that's in itself. So for you, it's like, a lot of the stuff that people go through seems to be more talked about.
Well, because it's the human condition. If you're scrolling on Instagram and you see someone's mansion and nice cars and nice life, that might not feel relatable. It might feel unattainable, and it might feel like you go into that, I'm comparing myself and what am I doing with my life? And, versus you see someone go through a breakup, talk about their mental health, talk about what's hard. It's like, oh my gosh, me too. Like, I don't think there's anybody that goes, I've never felt hurt before, People relate to that humanity.
So I have another question. Okay, me being a DJ, being in the music industry, people talk about this all the time. Like, it's a lot of the new music is sampled from music from the 90s now.
Oh yeah,
90s was sampling from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like every decade every 10 to 20 years there's this remix or sampling of old songs, you know. So you look at certain songs, you're like, oh man, that's, you know. Now there's this website that I like called Who Sampled. You can type in any song on the website and it'll tell you from the one song where they got different, like how many other songs are in this one song.
Oh, cool.
So sometimes it's not just they sampled this beat, you know what I mean? But there's actually there could be like 4 different tracks, like they grabbed something from 4 different tracks to make one track. You know, so talking about that, I've noticed kind of hanging out with you and going to these conferences and everything, and you hear these people, we hear these people that go up on stage and talk and do keynotes, and they have books. But it does kind of seem like the information gets kind of recycled. So is that something, I mean, does it not feel like original? Like, for example, like you'll have, this author there's this book that everybody, you know, like what's a big book that's kind of well known from a long time ago?
Well, I mean, like Think and Grow Rich, you know, Napoleon Hill,
like
you know, so people reference books like that all the time.
Will read that book and then read other books, and then kind of like their book kind of is like a compilation of kind of those books.
Yeah.
Is that something that a lot of authors do, or is it more of like different authors maybe have an interpretation, or they're basically telling their story and referencing kind of those teachings that they got?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So is information recycled and interpreted for this generation in this moment? Absolutely. You're always going to be referencing things from whatever has inspired you. The unique nature is that we all have a unique story.
Yeah.
That's unlike anybody else, and that's anything that you're doing that's somewhat has an autobiographical element to it. There isn't anybody like you, so that you can count on. But the similarities are in what gave you that inspiration.
Because there's a lot of books that you've read.
Oh yeah,
and I'm pretty sure,
and they're all acknowledged.
Like if we did a little Who Sampled author version, we would probably have hundreds of books or hundreds of sources, right?
Yeah.
So and for me, I kind of thought, well, man, somebody can go and kind of. I wonder if authors kind of feel like, hey, well, that's kind of my teaching. They're kind of teaching that same thing in their book. You know, I wonder if authors kind of do that, or is that something that's you can't really copyright an idea.
Yeah, you know? No, I mean, hopefully people are honored that somebody is like referencing them or, you know, whatever it is and saying this piece inspired me. You
are still continuing your education. You're continuing to learn. You're always, you know, and I know recently you are doing another program, not an intensive, but you're taking this whole other program.
It feels intensive a little bit.
Yeah. And it's more on finance.
Yeah.
Right? Well, who are these women?
They're called the Dow Janes. They're freaking brilliant.
Yeah, and we'll, hopefully we can give some information.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time. So we are going to do a part 2 series, and I kind of want to let everybody know that I really want to talk about this, and then we'll do this in the next episode. But you've really been talking about this, and it's helping you.
Yeah.
And it's really good that because you are a coach and you help a lot of people, but you're still striving for like, what's the latest information or what's, you know.
Coaches need coaching.
Yeah. So
always.
But you're really liking this.
Yeah.
And it's ran by women. For women?
Yep.
Only for women?
Yep.
So guys are kind of left out. But we have, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban.
Right, yeah. I mean,
there's so many, you know, but which is good though.
Yeah.
And there's a little couple things that I want to talk about that I'm kind of, because I am really into the into politics and I do go out there and listen to a lot of, anytime there's an issue, I'll go out there and listen to like right wing and left wing and like moderate and kind of see what people are talking about. And it's interesting how there's different views on stuff like that, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, but I really want to get into it because it's kind of a thing right now with you, and it can help out a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So we'll give you guys more information on that, but please check out the next episode. Again, if you haven't already, go and pre-order Coach Dez's book, Born Unbreakable. Be you, damn it. And it's coming out on
July 23rd.
And they can get it for how much?
$17.99 on Amazon.
Is there any discounts?
Come on.
Is there free shipping?
It's for shipping on Amazon.
If you have Prime, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And there'll be an audiobook
there is.
and what do they call it?
Like a Kindle version and
perfect.
an ebook
So
version.
all that's going to come out, but make sure you guys go pre-order. It's almost out, like about a month away, a
Yep.
little over a month away. And if you guys are in the Vegas area, we will be doing a little release party. So check that out. But yes, definitely check out the next episode because we are going to be getting into some pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited
Especially
about
if you're
it.
a woman.
Yeah. And finance,
Wanting to
money,
be
wealth.
successful. Yes.
Yay.
Get your money on, man.
Yeah.
I'm DJ FNA.
And I'm Coach Des.
Thank you for watching another Born Unbreakable episode. We'll see you guys next time.